What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here live for a very special edition of the 2021 NFL mock draft. In this video, we are going to have a plethora, a bunch of different Bottom Line View subscribers and Discord members pick. They are going to be the GMs across the NFL selecting your team's player in the first round of the 2021 NFL draft. So how this is going to work, we're going to be as organized as humanly possible. We have a bunch of people here in the Discord on the voice chat. I'm going to show the picture of the team that's picking along with the pick. They're going to come on the voice chat. You will not see them, but you'll hear their voice. You'll hear my reaction and see my reaction as they pick, and they're going to give you a little bit of the pick along with a little bit of why they picked that player, a little bit of the analysis as well, and we're going to have some fun. This is going to be probably a little chaotic, but we're going to just have fun doing it. So before we get started, guys, make sure, of course, that you do spike that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more NFL draft coverage. We will have 2 more mock drafts coming very soon. I'm going to be doing a mock draft with what I would do in the NFL draft for every team, as well as an NFL mock draft probably the day before, predicting what I believe will happen in the draft. And then, of course, live coverage throughout the draft. So let's introduce you to the people, and let's get started with this mock draft. All right. So you guys see the Discord screen. Of course, the first pick in the draft is the Jacksonville Jags. But first, I do want to introduce you to the man that has come up with this concept, come up with this idea. As much as I would like to take credit for it, I did not set this up. So I got to give credit to Bengals fan. What's going on, Bengals fan? Introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are and what you're about, bro.
I'm good. I'm like the only Bengals fan here, so it's nice.
I'm not sure if they can hear you. He's a little light there. He's a little shy, but that's okay. That's okay. So Bengals fan set it up. Just like to say thank you to him. And we're going to get right into the draft. So let's start with the number 1 pick, which is the Jacksonville Jags. With the number 1 selection, do we have the man that is on the clock ready to make his pick?
Yes.
All right. Introduce yourself and give the pick and a little bit of analysis.
All right, everyone. I suck at Madden, so don't blame me if I'm not good at it, but here's the pick. With the first pick in the NFL draft, I'm going to select Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, what a shocking selection with the number 1 pick for Jacksonville. Is there any reasoning behind why you're selecting Trevor Lawrence, or is it just simple, easy?
Simple and easy.
All right, so Trevor Lawrence is going to go first overall in our Bottom Line View subscriber draft. I know a lot of Jacksonville fans, including I had comments just today saying, you're an idiot for not thinking he's the best in the draft. So, yeah, guys, Trevor Lawrence is going first, and pretty simple. A lot of people have him going first. He will go first. It's just a matter of if you think he should go first. So, with the number 2 selection, we have the New York Jets on the clock. With the number 2 pick, we have Bus boy. What's going on, bro?
Okay, so I'm good. How about you?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
Who are you picking, man?
Okay. So my second pick, I was kind of in between 2 people, and I had to think about it, but I think I came out with a great selection for the New York. I'm gonna go with Zach Wilson out of BYU.
Zach Wilson is the pick for the New York Jets. Why are you taking Zach Wilson over maybe Justin Fields or Mac Jones or Trey Lance?
Well, I think this is kind of what I think will happen. Plus, I think Zach Wilson will probably be better for the Jets instead of Justin Fields. And I mean, you already seen it. The Jets are highly interested in Zach Wilson, so I think this one just makes the most sense with this pick.
All right. So Busboy goes with Zach Wilson, the man from BYU, who is my number one
go.
quarterback in this draft. So with the number 3 pick in the 2021 NFL subscriber draft, we have the legend himself, Lenny, on the clock for his San Francisco 49ers. Lenny, who are you picking?
All right, so I'm gonna make this short because I am not at a place where I should be talking right now, but I'm in. And with the 3rd overall pick, the San Francisco 49ers select Michael McCorkle Jones.
Is that his actual
Do you
name?
need reasoning? That is his name. Yes, it is his name.
Okay.
Michael McCorkle. And the reason I picked this pick, despite many people calling me a lot of names, a lot of unfair names, because in the next 10 years, when the Niners get like 3 Super Bowl rings, when we hire Josh McDaniels and fire Kyle Shanahan, he will prove you wrong. That's all I'm going to say. But he's the most accurate quarterback in this draft, in my opinion. And obviously is also probably the smartest. So for someone to run Kyle Shanahan's system, you need to not be dumb. Like, that's why it's pretty simple. You just don't be dumb, and you could probably run it. I mean, and Mac Jones in general is just, I don't know, man. I just watch the tape and I just look at him like, that's my guy. I don't know what it is, man. I just watch him. It's like,
That's your guy. I think that's all we need,
Yeah.
Lenny. That's your guy. I mean, I'm making a video about Mac Jones pretty soon. It will come out pretty quickly, and I'm excited for it. It's going to be a good video, probably pretty controversial, but I'm excited for you guys to see it, excited to create it, and I feel similarly to Lenny. And I honestly think there's still this kind of conversation going with Mac Jones going number 3. I think it's almost locked and loaded. Like, if you disagree with it, agree with it, whatever, I'm just letting you know right now, I'm like 99% sure that he is going number 3. So you're going to have to deal with it regardless. All right. With the number 4 pick in the 2021 Bottom Line View Discord draft, we have the Wave God, the Wave Mod himself, the very first time that you will hear his beautiful voice on the Bottom Line View.
Let's go. Okay, so Lenny made that super easy for me. All right, so I was totally prepared to take Trey Lance. But now that Fields is on the board, finna welcome the boy back home. Finna sit behind Matt Ryan. I mean, the Falcons' biggest off-season signing was Arthur Smith, period. So nothing more can surpass that. Pitts, Chase, nobody else. I'm going with Justin Fields. Welcome home.
I like the pick. So that's interesting because I think a lot of people don't expect Atlanta to go quarterback, but as a fan of the team, Mr. Wave Mod expects Atlanta to look for the future at the position. Maybe they will not have a pick this high in the future. I personally do not think they should go quarterback. That's just me because I think Matt Ryan has 2 to 3 very good years left, and I think you need to maximize those years. But if you do think Justin Fields or Trey Lance are the guy, then I don't hate the pick. So with the number 4 pick, Justin Fields. At number 5, we have the Cincinnati Bungles. And of course, we have the Bengals fan himself.
All right, so this was like a really easy pick. We need to protect Burrow. He got killed last year. It was between Slater and Sewell, but I gotta go Sewell. He's by far has the highest ceiling of any tackle in this class, and even if he doesn't succeed, he will still be a decent O lineman for the future. So I think he's fit great in Cincy.
All right. I like that as well. I think some people are debating whether it's going to be Sewell or it's going to be a receiver, possibly Chase. And I think lately Chase has been more mocked to the team because of the connection between Burrow and Chase. And honestly, I think it would be a good pick either way. I don't think they can go wrong, but this is a blue chip tackle, and when you can pick one, that's always a great pick. So now we have on the clock the infamous Kevin Durkant at number 6.
Hi. So he took my guy, Sewell, whatever his name is. So this is between a few receiving options now. I'm between Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, and Kyle Pitts. But the Dolphins have Mike Gesicki, and I think Smith's the best receiver in this draft. So I'm going Devontae Smith.
Ooh, a little bit of a shocker with the number 6 pick. Can you describe, Durkant, maybe why you like him more than Chase? Because I think that's controversial.
I think he fits Miami better because I feel like he's just going to separate better than Chase will. I think he's better off of the line than Chase is, and I think that that'll fit for a team with a very questionable offensive line better than Jamar Chase would. And he has a previous connection with Tua. So
you're going with the connection, and you're going with the guy that can separate maybe a little bit quicker?
Yep.
All right. So Durkant goes with the Heisman winner at number 6. That leaves Jamar Chase possibly for number 7, or will Kobe go in a different direction? Guys, you do have extra time to pick because I know that at the top of the draft, it's pretty easy because obviously you already kind of know who you're going to select. But once we keep getting down these picks and more players are off the board, you do have a second to gather yourself if you don't know who you're going to pick. But just let me know. All right, number 7 on the clock, we have Kobe.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on,
My
Kobe?
name's Kobe, and this is crazy. Did I just get the two best wide receivers in the draft? Man, this is crazy. I think I'm gonna go Kyle Pitts.
Oh!
The best player in the draft. The best player in the draft, by the way. I think this guy is a monster. He can play in the slot, he can play in the outside, he can play the tight end. Him and Hockenson, you can't guard that. That's unguardable. And we have a lot of depth problems, but I think we go best available here. So I'm going Kyle Pitts.
Interesting. So why would you go Pitts? I think a lot of Lions fans would say that's maybe not necessarily the biggest need pick there. That's the best player in your opinion. Why would you go with Pitts over Chase? Is it just simply he's that much better of a prospect?
You know who our coach is, right? Dan
He's a
Campbell,
tight end.
A tight end. And I think that Kyle Pitts is his guy. We have been talking to Kyle Pitts a lot, but we don't think that he's going to fall to us because a lot of people have Atlanta getting Pitts. But yeah, I think Pitts is the guy. He's just so talented, and him and Hockenson would just be the best tight end duo of all time.
All right, awesome. I love the 12 personnel
Jonnu
in
and Hunter
Detroit.
Henry's better.
What's up?
Jonnu and Hunter Henry are a better combo.
Yeah, all right. Pick number 8. We have the Carolina Panthers on the clock. With the Carolina Panthers pick, we have Bethel.
So with the Panthers, I'm not going to go like QB because I feel like Darnold is going to excel much more than he did with the Jets. I mean, like, to be honest, Adam Gase is from Adam Gase to Joe Brady is much more of a big improvement if you ask me. So I'm kind of looking at corner, and with the 8th pick, I'm gonna go with Caleb Farley.
Oh, I like that pick. That's a bold pick, bro.
Yeah.
Why do you like Farley maybe over some of the other guys at corner?
I like Farley better because he's like a tall corner, and for his height, he's got impressive speed, and I feel like he's the most NFL ready cornerback in this draft.
Okay, I would certainly agree that he has the most raw talent, but I think a lot of the injury concerns may push him outside that top 10. It will be interesting to see where he goes and how high up the board he does go, but I do really like the pick.
He didn't play last year that much, so.
At number 9, we have the Denver Broncos. And with the Denver Broncos selection, we have Bears fan. Is he in the chat? Because I know he wasn't in it before.
Yes.
All right, we're good.
I personally think that Drew Luck isn't it.
Drew Lock isn't it?
Yeah.
Who are you picking?
I'm going to pick Trey Lance.
Trey Lance, quarterback to the Denver Broncos. Why?
Because he could be a really great factor to this offense.
All right. So a dual threat factor from Bears fan for the Broncos. I like it. So at number 9, Trey Lance, their quarterback of the future, replacing Drew Lock. That's a good pick. I like it. So right now we have all of those top 5 quarterbacks off the board. Trevor Lawrence went first. Zach Wilson went second. Mac Jones went third. We had Wave Mod with the switch up going Justin Fields at number 4. And then we had, of course, Trey Lance going number 9. So to end the top 10, we have the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys with the number 10 pick. We have Bump on the clock.
Cowboys select Patrick Surtain is second.
Patrick Surtain, cornerback, second-generation NFL player. Why is that the pick?
Well, corners are number 1 need, and you got to surround Dan Quinn with the talent to succeed.
All right. Yeah, I get it totally. I think it's probably the most mocked pick in the entire draft. Cornerback to Dallas, whoever it may be, and I think that's a solid pick, man. You can't go wrong with going with the need, and I think with the Cowboys, they last year, because they went with CeeDee Lamb, they kind of put off going defense in the first round, and I don't think they're going to, not that it was a mistake last year to make that pick because it was a good pick, but I think they're going to get back to going after the need because their defense was so bad last year. So, number 11, we have another NFC East team. It's going to be interesting, this run of NFC East teams here from 10 to 12, with the Cowboys at 10, the Giants at 11, and the Eagles at 12. With the number 11 pick, the Giants are on the clock. That is Monty. Is Monty here?
Yo, what's good?
Monty, you're usually more excited. Where's the energy, bro? Did you just lose a Madden game or something?
No. So with the 11th pick, the New York Giants select who? Rashawn Slater.
Rashad Slater. Okay, he fell down the board a little bit more than I expected. I like that pick. Why are you going with Slater to the Giants?
Because I can't believe he drops so down. Guy protect Jones. He has
so you protect Daniel Jones with a premier tackle who's expected to go in the top 10. As Monty said, he wasn't expecting him to be there on the board. I think that's an awesome pick. So they picked a first round high up the board first rounder last year, and this year they go with tackle once again. So they've secured their left and right tackle for the future of Daniel Jones. I actually really like that pick more than the potential pass rushers that they could have had at this spot. So at number 12, we have the Philadelphia Eagles ending this run of the NFC East. At number 12, what's the selection for Philadelphia?
All right. So you buffoons left the number 1 wide receiver in the draft on the board. So Howie Roseman and the Eagles. Hopefully they don't mess this up if it falls like this, but God knows they probably will. Anyway, the Eagles are selecting Jamar Chase, number 1 receiver in the draft. It's an easy pick. If Howie messes it up, I hate it.
Bro, I forgot that he was still available. Great pick. I think that's an easy pick, obvious pick. If the Eagles end up getting Chase, I mean, that is a dream scenario. I think what's most likely to happen with the Eagles is they will trade down. There's just too much smoke. But I mean, if Chase is there, maybe even if Devontae Smith is there, they will probably pick those players. We'll see what happens with the Eagles. They could go a variety of different ways, but certainly wide receiver is their biggest need. So number 12, Chase to the Eagles. Love the energy too. At number 13, we have the LA Chargers. The LA Chargers, Turtle's new favorite team is the Chargers. He's the Chargers in Madden. He's the Chargers in this draft. Turtle, who is your favorite team going to select here?
Whoa. First of all, you didn't have to introduce me. I'm the man who needs no introduction. I'm the GOAT.
Debatable.
So, well, no. I'm going to go J.C. Horn.
Ooh.
The reasoning for that, they did a very good job building that offensive line. All right. Yeah, sorry. Something just happened. They did a very good job building the line in free agency. They did not address the cornerback position at all. They're starting outside corners. It's looking like Chris Harris is not going to be able to play in the slot. He'll have to play outside. So they've got nobody. So that's the pick that makes sense for me. It's their biggest need by far.
So they go Horn, cornerback, at number 13. The Chargers. Turtle is a cornerback guy, and the Chargers do certainly need corners more so this year than they have, I don't know, within the last 5-6 years. They've been pretty good at that position lately in the secondary, but this year they're certainly looking for that guy. Harris is getting older, but he's still there. And I do like Michael Davis, who's a solid young player, but they could use another young corner who could start right away. He could play in a lot of different schemes, primarily as a press man corner, and with the scheme change in LA, I think that's kind of what they're looking for. So I like the pick. And like he said, offensive line-wise, they're doing pretty well. I think most people are mocking a tackle to them. Could certainly make sense, but Turtle went with the corner, which is also a big need. At number 14, also shout out to Turtle for the mock drafts that he does on Instagram. Appreciate that from him. At number 14, we have everybody's favorite BLVer. That is Ultra. Ultra has the Vikings for some odd reason. I don't know why, but Ultra, what's the pick?
Thanks for the introduction. So it's tough because I really like Kwity Paye, who's on the board right now, and I think in Zimmer's defense with Danielle Hunter on the edge, it would be very helpful. But the Vikings' offensive line stinks. It's one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL right now. And it was awful last season. So I'm going to take Elijah Vera Tucker. He's the most versatile offensive lineman in this draft. I think he can develop into a very capable pass and run blocker during his career in the NFL. And I think he covers a need. So I have the Vikings taking Vera Tucker.
Interesting. I think it's a little bit, I think most people would consider, although I don't believe in this term, a reach, because I think a lot of people think he's going to be picked in the 20s or whatever. But
really, I've been seeing him getting picked around this 14, 15 mark.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, if teams need this position, which I think a lot of teams need offensive line, So it might make those players rise up the board a little bit more because of the need. Certainly the Vikings' biggest need by far, in my opinion, is offensive line. So I don't hate the pick if they believe that's the guy. He could play tackle. He could play a little bit of guard as well. So he's got good versatility, and we'll see what he could do in Minnesota in this fake draft that we're doing. All right, at number 15, of course, it is me, the New England Patriots. And this is going to be the exact same pick that I made in the other mock draft that I did with Catch the Blitz and Mike Beck. If you haven't already checked that draft out, make sure that you do check it out, as we had 6 different creators doing a GM What Would We Do mock draft. It was very fun, very interesting as well, and kind of different, as the first pick totally changed the draft. But at number 15, I end up with the same player here. That is Jalen Waddle, wide receiver of Alabama. The reason I go with Waddle here is because I personally still believe that the wide receiver position is their biggest need, even more so than quarterback, at least for this year. And I think adding a receiver with the speed and the dynamic ability of Waddle will just completely open up this offense in a way that they haven't been able to do in the last 2 to 3 seasons. And I think that Belichick really likes Cam and is going to do whatever it takes to make this guy succeed in New England. And I think he has all the weapons to do so. This basically puts the cherry on top. When you look at the defense, they don't have a lot of needs right now short term. They would all be long-term needs. New England has a sneaky good roster, and here they basically finish off their top needs. The wide receiver, obviously there's no quarterbacks really that you would pick on the board, with all of them going in the top 10. So the wide receiver is the next best pick here, in my opinion. At number 16, we have the Arizona Cardinals. We had a late switch up. We have Connor on the clock with the Cardinals.
All right, so here I have the Arizona Cardinals taking Micah Parsons. I don't, because the top 3 corners are all off the board. That's where I would have liked to see them target. The top 3 tackles are all off the board. I would have liked to see them take one of those, but those are all gone. So I think that Micah Parsons can be a pretty good fit for them. They're going to have him and also Isaiah Simmons, who will both be able to switch around a lot and be very versatile and upgrade their defense.
That's interesting. I do think they have bigger needs, such as cornerback, that I would look at, but like you said, maybe the value at those positions weren't as great, and Parsons is looked at as a top 15 prospect by majority of experts out there. So he brings versatility to a defense that loves to move their pieces around, and they did lose Hassan Reddick to Carolina, who is kind of a similar player in that mold, in that regard. So I don't hate the pick. I think he's a good player. I just think he might have been a bigger impact player on certain other teams, but hey, good pick, good player. So number 17, we have Lenny back on the clock with his
Lenny
favorite.
Can't do this one.
Favorite
he just DM'd me saying he can't.
Lenny
talk
can't
right
do
now.
it. So Ultra, are you gonna take over for Lenny here?
Yeah, he told me to do this one.
Did
Maybe
he
it's
give
because
you
he
the
can't
pick? Because
talk
I
right
need to
now.
know if Lenny made
Yeah,
this pick.
he gave me the pick and his analysis, so I'll just read it off of him. So Lenny wants Trayvon Moehrig for the Raiders at 17.
Ooh, that's kind of off the board.
He says it's because the Raiders have starters, even if bad, everything on defense outside of a single high safety, which is perfect for Gus Bradley's defense. So that's his reasoning.
Yeah, I get the need. I think that's definitely their biggest need is safety, but there aren't a lot of safeties being mocked inside the top 20. So maybe in a real draft scenario, this would be a place where the Raiders could look to trade back, given they have so many needs. And I'm certainly expecting if they have one of those corners, top corners on the board, they will go that direction. Maybe even offensive line, but that's interesting from Lenny at number 17. Thank you, Ultra, for filling in.
I got one more thing to say.
Oh,
I know it's a reach, but I know the Raiders are going to do some stupid shit like this. So I just want to say.
Yeah, that's probably true.
All right. At number 18, we have Durkant back on the clock. Hopefully this is the last time he'll be a part of this video. Durkant, you there? Will the Dolphins have to give up their pick? Ultra, where is this guy?
I can hear him, Mitch, so I think it's on your end.
It's on me?
No, I can't hear him. No, I can't
can
hear
hear
him, Mitch.
Durkant.
You're not the only one.
I can hear Durkant.
All
I
right,
can't.
Turtle, make the pick.
All right, hey, Durkant, tell me who you want to pick, and I'll tell him. I don't care
so
who
he
you're
is in
between,
here,
just
but you
tell
can't.
me. All right, he said Darisaw.
All right. So
Any analysis of that pick?
Darisaw. So I'll start off and we'll get Durkant's thoughts after. Turtle, you can let me know. But I would look at this pick and I think the offensive line is the biggest need by far for Miami. I know a lot of people mocking them receivers and in the top of the draft. That makes sense because of the players that are the top prospects in this draft. So it makes sense for them to go to receiver early. But I do think I look at that offensive line, and I've said it, and I'll say it again. I think it's the worst in the league. I understand that they have a lot of young players that they've invested in, but none of them have really turned out to be any good. So I think adding another player, young player to that could be good is a wise choice. Turtle, do you have his analysis?
He didn't say anything else.
All right. So I'll just continue. Durkant/Turtle with Darisaw at number 18. At number 19, we have Bengals fan back on the clock, the creator of this draft with the Washington football team.
All right, so I'm gonna take a shocker here.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go Kellen Mond. I think he's better than Trey Lance. And after Fitzpatrick retires this year, he will be the future of the football team.
What do you like so much about Kellen Mond? I know some people are very high on him, but what do you like about him?
He's not Trey Lance.
So not a Trey Lance fan. So what I like about Kellen Mond is I think he is a good passer. I think he's a better passer than Lance, arguably Fields as well. Solid mechanics, consistency, accuracy. He's a little robotic, but I think that can be taught how to be a little bit more loose, open up a little bit more, make more plays outside the pocket. He certainly has the athleticism. Some people even compare him to Dak a little bit, and it would be interesting to have Dak and mini Dak in the NFC East. So with pick number 20, we do not have Nicholas Gill because he never joins the Discord. We have Bears fan.
With the 20th pick, I am going to take Samuel Cosme.
Who'd you say? I can't hear you.
I'm picking Samuel Cosme.
All right. Why is that the pick?
Because we need to give Dalton some protection.
Dalton needs some protection.
We don't want him to get wrecked.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, last year he definitely got wrecked with the Cowboys losing all of their top linemen. So I like them going with a guy that can protect them or protect whoever the quarterback's going to be long term. They're not really in a position here, especially with Kellen Mond now gone, to actually pick a quarterback at number 20. So line could be the next best thing. Thank you, Bears fan. At number 21, we have the man that selected first on the clock, back on the clock with the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay, everybody, with the 21st pick in the draft, I'm going to be taking Kwity Paye, the defensive end from Michigan, because I would have taken Cosme, but he's off the board, and the Colts D lost both Danico Autry and Justin Houston, and Houston is still a free agent, and even if you re-sign him, you still have to replace Autry, and with Paye, Houston, and Buckner, on that D-line. That Colts defense will not miss a beat. And that O-line is still really good despite the retirement of Anthony Costanzo with Quentin Nelson, Ryan Kelly, and Braden Smith. So I think with this Colts team going to pay, I think that defense will be good, and this team will be the favorite to win the AFC South.
I certainly agree that they are the favorites to win the AFC South with or without this pick, but I think this is a good pick. I think a lot of people are overrating the Colts D-line right now because they look at what they did last year and how great they were, but they've lost some pieces there, as you alluded to, and I do like getting Pay there as a very athletic player who can kind of play a variety of roles and positions. Just athletic freak off the edge, definitely fits that system in Indianapolis. So like that pick at number 21. Number 22, we have the Tennessee Titans. The Titans GM'd by Kobe.
Nope. I would have went cornerback here. I was looking at J.C. Horn. But now that I look at it, I think Elijah Moore is going to be the pick. You know they love their oil miss wide receivers. You know, A.J. Brown and Elijah Moore. I think that'd be a great wide receiver tandem. And they just lost Corey Davis, so I'm going to go with Elijah Moore.
Okay, so Elijah Moore I don't think would be the consensus top receiver on the board, but what do you like about him more than some of the other guys?
Really speedy. He's been rising in a lot of draft boards. I know his draft stock's going up a lot, and you know they have two really receivers that are like pretty tall, and they need like a good slot guy. So I think Elijah Moore is perfect for the Tennessee Titans.
So the Titans, instead of going defense, they go receiver, which I think a lot of people don't know is a huge need for them because when you think of the Titans, you think of how successful the offense was. But Corey Davis did leave.
They lost Jonnu, Corey Davis. And
yeah, they lost weapons. They lost
was
their top tight end. They lost their second receiver. They lost, I believe, even Adam Humphries is gone. So they've lost receivers, and they needed one. So definitely
they got Josh Reynolds at least.
Yeah, I think that's an underrated pickup. But then you have a solid trio there. A.J. Brown, obviously, number one. But you go first-round receiver. Never a bad idea to add weaponry to an offense. Thank you for that pick, Mr. Kobe. All right, at number 23, we have Bus Boy back on the clock. His favorite team, the New York Jets, I guess.
Yeah, sure. So I was kind of in between two people here. One offensive, one defensive player. I was really looking at Kwity Paye as he was falling, but you know the Colts had to snatch him up like 2 picks before mine.
Right.
So, I was thinking Rashad Bateman here, but after the signing of Corey Davis and they already have Jamison Crowder, I'm going to select Greg Newsome, cornerback, because the Jets obviously need secondary, especially at the corner position, as their whole secondary is just basically Marcus May and a little bit of Brian Poole, but you definitely need like a number 2 cornerback or a number 3 cornerback, and I think Greg Newsome fits that perfectly. So that's how them picking Newsome here.
I like it, Bus. Yeah, a cornerback is a big need. I like the process there, thinking about pass rusher, thinking about wide receiver, all needs for them. Carl Lawson is now going to be their premier pass rusher. I think they have a very good defensive line, so I think they maybe could address that later in the draft. And I like the decision to go corner because they're very, very, very weak at this position. And even though it's not the primary position focus of this scheme that Robert Saleh is going to be running, it's still an important position in the NFL. So I like that pick. All right. Number 24, we have Busboy's actual favorite team. That is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Bethel will be picking for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's my favorite team too. But with the 24th pick, my Pittsburgh Steelers are going to select Alex Leatherwood.
Why?
He's like a really big physical tackle, and when I think of Pittsburgh Steelers offensive lineman, I think of physicality, I think of toughness, and I think he can bring that to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He reminds me a lot of what Villanueva was for us.
I think a lot of people are mocking running back to you guys, and I know there's certain fans that really want that and certain fans that really don't want that. Are you a fan that doesn't want that?
I don't think we should go running back. I don't.
All right.
I think we need to focus on getting the offensive line ready first, and then we can go ahead even with like a Benny Snell, and we can be okay with that.
Okay. So the Steelers decide to go with the offensive line, which I think is the smart, wise choice at number 24. And they get a guy that, like he said, big, physical, and that is Pittsburgh Steeler football that we really didn't see last year, at least from their offense, right? The identity of the Steelers has been toughness, grit, and they got bullied on the offensive line last year. So improve that offensive line. All right. Number 25, the Jacksonville Jags. Back on the clock. Connor.
So at 25, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking Christian Barmore.
Ooh, like this pick.
Because on the edge, they have Josh Allen, who's already very good. And then on the other side, they have Kayvon Chason, who's a first-round pick last year. We're going to have to try and develop him. I don't really like any other choices here for them defensively, and there aren't anyone that I would consider a major upgrade on the offense that are worth taking here, at least compared to Barmore for the defense.
Yeah, I think Jacksonville has a better roster than a lot of people think, because you just assume a team this bad last year would not have a decent roster, but they made a lot of acquisitions in the offseason, a lot of moves in the offseason, and they've gotten a lot better wide receiver, cornerback, defensive line. They already have good linebackers. I think this is probably their top need. I mean, if you're not going to get and swing for a receiver maybe, or swing for a safety, which would feel like a little bit of a reach, defensive line makes a lot of sense. They were one of the worst run defenses in the NFL. And Barmore, for some, is the top D tackle in this class and somebody that can help them in the interior. So number 25, Barmore. At number 26, Monty with the Cleveland Browns.
So these are my Super Bowl winners here. So this pick, taking edge rusher Jalen Phillips.
Ooh.
Help out that. Because that's their weak. They got to get good defense, and then they're set.
So at number 26, Monty is going with Jalen Phillips. Pass rusher, some believe the best pure pass rusher in this class. He does have concerns about love of football, which I never really like. He has concerns about injuries and that sort of stuff. But I think when you look at his tape, shows a very promising young player that can be molded into a top sack artist in the league. And I actually think that is an awesome combo with him and Clowney, because if Clowney is there as a run game force and you can put Phillips on the field as a pass game force in his early season here, in his first season to develop, that would be an ideal scenario. It's never a bad idea to add to the defensive line on defense, I always truly believe. So, at number 27, the Be More Ravens. What's the pick for Lamar Jackson and the Ravens? Are you there?
I'm going with Terrell Marshall Jr.
Hello?
Terrell Marshall Jr.
Terrell Marshall Jr.? That the pick?
Yeah. Yep. LSU.
All right. I like it. I like it. So we're going to go with a little bit of flair, a little bit of sexiness with the Baltimore Ravens. That's typically not what they do. They typically go with the boring picks that a lot of people don't get excited about. But this is an exciting about. Okay, they're going to help out Lamar Jackson on offense. So I like it. All right, what else we got? Number 28. Moving to the bottom of this first round. of course, number 28 is going to be Turtle. Turtle, what's the pick for the Saints?
Yeah, these guys, they messed up. They left Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah on the board. He's the perfect Saints player, prototype Saints player. To play for the Saints, you have to do more than one thing, and he is very good at doing more than one thing. He'll be able to cover slot, play safety, play off-ball linebacker, which is a very big need for the Saints. I was hoping Newsome would fall, but he didn't, and I'm totally fine with this.
I apologize, by the way. Terrace Marshall Jr. is the wide receiver. So Turtle goes with the linebacker here, and somebody that has kind of a hybrid molded type player with, the athleticism to cover, which is very essential for this position. And I think it's really interesting with linebackers nowadays on what teams value and where they'll go in drafts, because linebacker is such a difficult position to evaluate going from college to the NFL because of how hard it is to play in the NFL. So the Saints, Demario Davis getting a little bit older, but he's still a good player. I think Zach Bond is going to develop this year and play a role, but they add to the middle of their defense and a guy that can play a couple different types of positions, I guess similarly to Gardner Johnson, or whatever his name is nowadays, who plays safety and nickel. So they've got some flexible pieces there in the defense. They certainly need players that can play multiple roles because they've lost so much depth. So the Saints at number 28 go with the linebacker. At number 29, we have the Green Bay Packers, who is GM Wave Mod back on the clock.
All right. So this is going to be super easy. I'm not going to piss off Aaron Rodgers. I'm going Rashad Bateman, wide receiver, Minnesota. Finally get him a decent weapon that can separate alongside Devontae Adams. You're talking about like that. That's perfect.
All right. Simple. Easy. Packers go with the receiver. They're not going to piss off Aaron Rodgers, says Wave Mod. He says, big target. Right. I think he's probably the biggest target in this first round, like in terms of size, in terms of profile. And a guy that can make contested catches and things of that nature. And, Aaron Rodgers has been good with those type of receivers. Well-rounded. A lot of people have him as a first-round receiver. A lot of people have him as the number 4 receiver. And he slips to the end of the first round into the hands of the Green Bay Packers at number 29. All right, number 30. The Buffalo Bills Ultra is going to be selecting for the Buffalo Bills.
So, for the Bills, I think they need edge here. And I'm surprised this guy wasn't taken, but I'm glad that he is still on the board here. I'm going to take Gregory Rousseau. I think that's how you pronounce it.
Rousseau,
the edge out of Miami.
I think is how you pronounce it. Yeah.
Rousseau. Gregory Rousseau, the edge out of Miami at 30. Because I think the Bills need edge rushers. That's one of the things that is standing between them and the Super Bowl. So.
Okay, yeah, I agree. I think the Bills, regardless of their pick, are going to go with some sort of defensive lineman, whether it be, like you said, edge, or with a guy that's an interior defensive lineman, because, that's what they need the most. I think you could look at guard maybe, but everywhere else they're pretty good. They've got a pretty solid roster. And really the defensive lineman in the interior, which I think is their real biggest need, it's not a super talented class, especially for the first round. So I totally get the edge pick. At number 31, we have the Baltimore Ravens, and then I'm going to wrap it up with number 32, who I kind of need to look because I've been doing this whole draft. So let's go number 31 with Bump on the clock.
The Baltimore Ravens select Jalen Mayfield.
Can you say that again?
Jalen Mayfield.
All right. Why is it the pick?
Well, they just traded Orlando Brown, and Jalen Mayfield feels an immediate need at tackle.
All right. I think, what do you think of the possibility that they're going to sign Villanueva? Does that affect your decision at all, or are you still sticking there?
No, I'll still stick with it because Mayfield's a rookie, and Villanueva, Steelers fan didn't seem too fond with him, so we don't know how he's going to pan out in Baltimore. So,
all right. I like it. So, tackle, certainly one of their biggest moves, or biggest needs, I should say. They went receiver earlier in the draft, so to address one of their bigger needs, and tackle, getting rid of Orlando Brown or trading Orlando Brown, whichever way you look at it, they're going to need a long-term solution, even if they sign Villanueva. I'd look at edge as well as a potential need for them, but they could address that later in the draft. Either way you look at it, solid move. So at number 32, this is interesting. Number 32, I think you could go so many different ways with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I kind of need to look at players that are still available, to be honest with you, because I've been addressing every pick here. But Tampa Bay is fascinating because Tampa Bay has basically no needs. Tampa Bay is a team that they've got everything. They've got O-line, they've got D-line, they've got secondary, they've got, linebackers, receivers. Like, I could go down the list. They have a quarterback. So they don't really need anything. I know some people are saying like they should pick a running back. I don't like that at all. I think that's dumb. I think that's lame. I think they should go for a player that can help them right now. So I don't think they should be picking a quarterback, which some people think that they might. So I am going to go, man, this is tough. They could go linebacker maybe and pick a guy that could be a depth piece there. They could go D-line and help the depth there. They could go O-line and help the depth there. But there is one player that I really like for them, which I'm not sure if he's going to be a first rounder or not, but I think he is a really solid player. And I think he will impact them right away, whether he starts or not. And that is Asante Samuel Jr. I, of course, am a big fan of Asante Samuel Sr., and I see a lot of the same qualities in Asante Samuel Jr. They pretty much have the same style. And when I look at Tampa watching every moment, every game, and every snap from them last season, their biggest priority, biggest need was actually secondary. Even though they played better at the end of the year, I think adding another corner, even if he's the fourth guy, or a guy that could play outside or inside, play in zone, play in man, maybe even play safety, he has just reactionary skills and awareness and acceleration that makes plays on the field. And I think he really does fit, Tampa Bay, because they're going to play a little bit of man, they're going to play a little bit of zone. And Todd Bowles is a coordinator that likes to be versatile, likes to be flexible, and I think Samuel's intelligence will fit in well with that back end. So now you have Antoine Winfield Jr. and Asante Samuel Jr. in the secondary. So Tampa could go so many different ways that I honestly wouldn't hate any of the picks other than running back and quarterback. So
thank God Peyton's retired.
Sorry?
Thank God Peyton's retired because you took an Asante Samuel.
And wide receiver, like other than quarterback, receiver, and running back, like I think any pick for Tampa would be a warranted pick because they don't have any needs. So thank you guys for tuning in, watching this mock draft with all the subscribers. I appreciate all the subscribers, all the Discord members for joining. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Let me see if I can get back to where I want to be here. Let's get this off the screen. All right. So we're good. All right. Thank you to everybody that was a part of this mock draft. from the guys that I talk to all the time, Durkant, Ultra, and Lenny, and Turtle, Busboy, to all the guys that I've really never talked to before. So appreciate everybody on the draft, taking the time, making the pick, the analysis. Appreciate it. Let me know in the comments what you guys make of the selections, what you guys make of your team's pick, and if you think it was the correct pick. Critique everybody's pick. Let us know in the comments how you feel. And of course, there will be more mock drafts on the channel. If you haven't already checked out the one with Catch the Blitz and Mike, go do that. I put it out yesterday. So if you haven't checked it out, go do so. And we'll also have a mock draft of what I think is going to happen, a mock draft of what I think's going to happen, what I would do. Those two things are going to come out. I got a Mac Jones video that I'm making, and I also am planning on eventually within the next week, probably a little bit on hold because of the draft, an Edelman video as well that I've been wanting to make as well. So I have about 4 or 5 videos that are going to be coming out pretty quickly here for the channel. So it's a big time of the year. My school just ended for at least a couple of weeks, and I'll be looking to make more and more content for the channel. So again, guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you do Gronk spike that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more BLV. Peace.